When daylight savings time starts in most U.S. states every spring, clocks are set ahead 1 hour to make daylight last later each day through fall.
Now the U.S. Congress wants to make that shift permanent as VOA's Veronica Balderas Iglesias looks into the so-called Sunshine Protection Act.
The sunrise prayer that Orthodox Jews perform lasts some 45 minutes each day, and then it's off to take care of worldly affairs. But if the U.S. Congress does as expected, the routine might change.
We must pass
a law called the Sunshine Protection Act would shift U.S. clocks an hour forward all year round. That means more daylight in the evening, but less in the morning, too.
In some cities, there's going to be days, weeks, or even months of sunrise after 8 o'clock. And if you finish your prayers after 9 o'clock or 8:45, how do you get to the office?
Rabbi Abba Cohen is with the Orthodox Jewish group Agudath Israel of America. The group has opposed the change since it was tried, then abandoned, in the 1970s. One reason? Worry about the safety of school kids commuting in the morning dark.
It was jet black outside, and kids were going to school either walking, either by bicycle, by car, or by bus. There were accidents. There were a number of incidents, unfortunately, that involved assaults.
Islamic prayers are also timed with the sun. Muslims said changing the clock isn't a big issue.
Anyway, we have to come, so we have to adjust ourselves to whatever time we'll have.
But it does matter during the holy month of Ramadan, when they fast during the daylight hours.
People will have to get used to a longer day, essentially, to fast. Next year, Ramadan is going to be 12 days earlier, which will be right around the time of time change. I think that having a consistent time is something that people would prefer.
The act would make daylight saving time permanent. Prayers aren't the only issue that's come up. Supporters say the change is good for businesses. That may come at the expense of America's overall well-being. The National Association of Convenience Stores, for instance, says the late daylight translates into $5 billion more a year in sales. And golfers can play later. A boon for courses.
There's a full restaurant, a food truck, and this golf course, like I said, is very busy, so it tends to become in the afternoons and the evenings kind of a hangout where people hit range balls and afterwards get something to eat and something to drink and socialize with their friends.
But critics say daylight savings time disrupts the body's natural rhythms. Studies show the risk of cancer, heart attack, and obesity spikes when biological clocks are off.
There's a 6% increase in fatal car accidents that's associated with daylight saving time year after year. You can't argue against statistics that are saying that we're putting people at risk.
Congress tried to make daylight saving time permanent in 1973, supposedly to save energy, but reversed course after complaints that children were killed in morning traffic accidents. This latest effort cleared the U.S. Senate by unanimous consent. Now it's up to the House of Representatives to act, while President Joe Biden, who has veto power, hasn't taken a stance.